Hello, welcome to the Helion Development Platform 2.0 Docker Applications webinar. My name is Álvaro Peón Sánchez, and I'm a Senior Product Manager in the Helion Development Platform team. In this short video, I'm going to talk about what is a Docker application as well as give you a live demo. In the Helion Development Platform 2.0, applications can now be deployed via a Docker container. This gives developers flexibility on how applications get deployed. Now, this is a good moment to remember that all applications in the Helion Development Platform run in a Docker container. What changes is how you deploy them, either leveraging the traditional build pack system or now deploying directly from a container. Using a container also improves your application portability as you can actually move your application from one environment to another using exactly the same content. Also, now you have full control over what gets deployed into your container. But with all this power also comes responsibility, and it's important to be able to control where these containers get deployed from, as well as who can deploy them. And in this release, we also allow you to define where the containers are going to be deployed from, either from a public or a private Docker registry, and who in the organization can actually do so. So what is a Docker application? A Docker application is a Docker container that requires both one port being exposed as well as a web process via HTTP. This is very important because we want to make sure that all applications in the Helion development platform behave the same way. And they do. We do memory and disk quota enforcement. All applications live in organizations and spaces. Applications can be scaled as well as auto-scale, and services can be binded to these applications. You can also SSH into the application as well as have versioning in this application. Now, all cloud-native applications require services to manage their state, and there is no difference using Docker containers in the Helion development platform. When you bind a service into your application, you can leverage these services by using either the VCAP services that you can find in the environment variables, as well as provide user-provided environment variables. And if you cannot modify how the applications um, or the services get exposed, you can also add an extra layer to your container that to reformat um, the the services variables so that they can be leveraged in your container. So how do you deploy a Docker application? We want to make sure to have the same experience of deploying a Docker application as you would do any other application. So we leverage the Helion command push. And in this case, you can see that we just added an extra command called Docker image, followed by the repo slash image name. And then we just provided what is the application name and the memory size of this application. Now, applications can also leverage the manifest, and you can do so as well with Docker applications. And here you can see an example of how the manifest would look like. So what is the process of deploying Docker applications? First, the user says to the system that they want to deploy a Docker application. The cloud controller sees this command and immediately checks with the built-in Docker registry for upstream image IDs. Once that happens, then it fetches all the images that are missing. And this way, we can actually guarantee that we are a little bit more effective at how we manage downloading any of the content necessary. Once all the layers are downloaded, then the DEA gets all these images directly from the local registry. Then the app is started with the one port exposed on the DEA. Once the application is started, then it gets exposed to the user via the router maps mapping. And this is how the user would actually access this application. So if you see, it's somewhat similar to how we deploy our current applications. However, the big difference is that instead of us building the container, we actually fetch it from um, the Docker registry and cache it in our local registry to become more efficient. So with this, let me give you a demo on how this works. So let's start by going to our command line to deploy this application. Here I have the healing push command followed by the Docker image command with the Alvaro peon, that is the repo, the name of the container, then the name of the application as well as the memory that we want. And I'm also not starting this application because this application requires a ready service that we haven't created yet. So here we can actually see how the application is getting created and it's done. So now let's create the service. So Helion create service of type Redis, and I'm gonna call it chatter Redis. What this is gonna do is just gonna create an instance of Redis for my application to use. It's gonna be of type free, and it shouldn't take too long. There it goes. So Helion bind service is gonna bind our application to the chatter ready service. And this way, the chatter application can now start using this service. Once this binding happens, then now we can actually start the application. Okay, there it goes. Now let's start the application. Helion start chatter. And at this stage, it's when the controller is gonna ask the local registry to look at the cached image layers that it has and fetch the rest of them. And you will see it in just a second. There it goes. It downloaded everything that it needed, and then now the application is deployed. So now let's go to our console. Here we can come back and now see that the application got deployed and it started. Um, if I click here, now I can actually see that my application is running. So it's asking me for my name. It's Alvaro. Then I'm gonna go to, actually let me just get the URL. I'm gonna go to IE and open the same application. And I'm gonna be one. Um, I can say hello, Alvaro. And I can actually see that the messages go back and forward. And this is how the application actually uses the ready service. So if I come back to the console, I can actually see that the application just behaves the same way as any other application. Here's where you can actually determine how many instances you want, the routes, the services that are attached. So we can see that there's a chatter Redis attached to it. Now, there's one more thing that I want to show you in the console, and that is from an administrator perspective, how can you enable where containers can come from and what organizations can define that. So if you go to the settings tab, there's going to be an option that says Helion Development Platform Settings. If you click there, there's going to be a Docker App Settings, where here is where you can actually require sudo for the organization to be able to deploy Docker applications, as well as allowing specific Docker registries. So if you wanted to add a specific Docker registry, you uncheck these and then add the registries that you allow. Now, for the sudo, let me show you really quick where you can actually enable that. So if you go to the admin tab and go to the quotas, here, if you edit the quota, you can actually allow the organization pseudo privileges, and this would allow this organization to deploy containers if you choose to have more control. So with that, I hope that you are excited as we are on this feature, and please give it a try. Um, you can download our VBox so that you can check our functionality out. Thank you so much, and looking forward to our next set of releases and talking to you again. Bye bye.